All right, everyone. Welcome to the meeting for today. We're going to go ahead and discuss the updates of the club, the game, then go on a workshop of playing a SHMUP. Everybody can see what's on here. Playing an example SHMUP and discuss what makes it good. I'll go ahead and leave that up for it. Then we're going to discuss what we're doing for the 13th. Which is the part of the event that's being set up with the Portland Game Club. Then we're going to have some free time afterwards. So, as for club updates, we don't got much besides the 13th. That'll be 2 to 6 for us. And the board game club is going to come at 4 to 8. They'll be playing our game during that. As for the game itself, I will be making sure before the meeting on a Saturday to work what I was supposed to do last weekend, 1 to 4, and then we'll have the 4 to 7 work. Does anybody have any questions so far of the progress of the game? What we need, any general questions or anything? Or what we need to focus on?
No, not really. Are we still trying to get Stephanie's drawings put into is she? Do we know if she's close to that? Like putting them into the game?
Well, what's happening is since we have 2 artists right now, we have Stephanie and Sunflower. Stephanie, who's done a good amount of the rough draft work already, she's going to be in charge of just the rough draft work of everything, and that's also going to be included with possible animations, because Sunflower's, as far as I saw, she was working on the backgrounds for the art first, which is fine. Whatever needs to be focused on, she feels most comfortable. That's good. But next, I assume she's going to be starting to work on the assets, the different assets, just as the main character, which is the plane, then the enemies and whatnot. So as soon as she gets done with those, we'll be able to insert the game pretty easily. Okay. Anything else? Alright, cool. So, we're going to work on our first portion, which is playing a game. Want to make it a priority now, as they have made a really good point, that we should probably play games that are relevant to what the style of what we're working on. This is an old game, back in SNES days. It's seen as a great example of SHMUP, especially the vertical SHMUPs. What we're going to try to do with this is to just start listing what makes it all the stuff that is in this game that we see patterns, such as we'll just do a list. It's such as, for instance, we're already seeing it now. It's seeing that's rapid shots, or seeing that enemies get killed, some enemies instant kills, some enemies we could see they take multiple hits. And we'll try to come up with a list as much as possible, see what patterns there are, see what possible things that we can see from here to incorporate into our own game. So I'm going to take first step to try it first. Let me go ahead and get the...
I like how the enemies, they come in from the back so you know that they're there. Maybe it could be something like that.
That could be something. Is that the right one? Too bad it doesn't pop up on there, but that's fine. Alright. So if anybody notices anything, I'll go ahead and start writing them. Alright. Yes. There we go. Hello. Sunflower, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Cool. You still want to be referred by that? Or is whatever you're
Honestly,
comfortable
I
with?
don't really care.
Okay.
Just, like,
Well, go ahead.
whatever goes.
Like right
I'm
now.
used to people calling me by like 15 different internet names.
You just have 18 identities at this point.
Yeah.
So right now we are currently playing an example shmup and started to come up with ideas of like what we can take from it and incorporate into our own game. What seems like good ideas, what seems like not. In order to further boost our game. So I'm making my first round and started to just write things on there, and then someone else is gonna come up next and see what they can come up with. So, and if anybody sees anything that they want to get written down, we have it. We could just call it out then, and go ahead and put it on the list. The one thing I definitely noticed with this one is that you take 2 hits instead, because like I take a hit and all of a sudden get hurt. I think he noticed it as well, to where enemies come in backwards as well from the back, and that is usually not a great idea for a shmup, because if you take most shmups, you only take like 1 hit and you die. Everyone's played bullet hells, I'm sure, to where you're just dodging a shit ton of bullets. But if you have enemies spawning in the back, it seems almost unfair to get hit by that. But if you get hit 2 times instead, then that means you'll learn from the idea of getting hit and know that enemies could spawn at any point from there. Another thing I noticed from this is that if that's the case, you're always going to stay in a certain spot at the level. Like, let me see if I can pause it in here. Bop, bop. Yes. Like, the game itself, where it spawns you at the very beginning, is right here. And I think that's teaching you something, because if enemies do spawn from the back, then that means you can catch it in time for you to dodge around. So,
Like spawning in the back, but they don't shoot at you until they're in the front. Like
did that happen? Let's see. Well, that could be something we can incorporate. Like these enemies themselves. Oh, they do shoot you. Blah. I'm not good at this. But an interesting thing about that is that they don't shoot until they do a full circle. And I think that's what's teaching you, is that there's also a danger from behind. So it's already teaching you at the very beginning that things in the back can also happen. Alright, does anybody else want to go ahead and pop up and try?
Oh, try the game?
Yeah, try the game.
Sure.
See we. Alright. I think.
Where are the controls?
Yes, it's right here. So this is just to shoot.
D is to shoot?
Yes, I just made it random controls at this point.
Okay.
Okay, and the enter is to pause. Come back in.
How do you spell back then?
The enter button is to
Okay.
pause. Is unpause, I guess.
I'm pressing it.
Yeah, it's not working.
No.
Did I click out of it?
Do you think you need to restart it?
Ooh, let's see what's happening. I swear I just pressed it.
Did the game just say no heart emoji?
Oh, I think it crashed.
Oh no,
For
I
this
know.
reason.
Nope, I know what happened. I think one of the buttons is to slow
it down.
Slow it down.
Oh.
And I don't know which one that was. Now we can get back into it pretty easily. Just press the A button or that button. Yeah, that works, I guess.
Oh, how do I skip the?
Yeah. Just go ahead and press yep, and go down to the exit. So.
With like the fighter thing there, do we have multiple like paper airplanes to choose from?
We could. That could be an option. It is very D is to shoot. There you go. It's a lot of shmups do have the option of multiple planes.
Oh wow.
Oh. I
Oh, this is hard.
Oh, you can keep playing it.
Oh, sure.
Plane options.
Because right now we just have one like basic.
Yeah.
Full of it.
Mm-hmm. And
You could just come up with fancier phones.
like an origami plane or something.
Something.
Mm-hmm. You could take a look
If
at.
only I knew how to make a crane.
Ooh, a
It
crane.
could be a crane plane.
A crane.
Anything that has just like wings and can fly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the crane's power would be though.
Well, we could adjust it based upon like it's bigger, but it can shoot maybe more, or it can shoot. It can take more hits. So you can always do that. Ooh.
I got a lot farther that time.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
You all good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Does that man have like a big ol' X just tattooed on his forehead?
He
Or is
does.
that supposed to be like forehead wrinkles? Or a bullet?
Oh, a
I don't
bullet
know.
hole in his head. It's anime, so it could be anything.
I'll
Go ahead and
try
give it a
really
shot.
quick.
Okay. Notice anything with the controls at all?
Oh, they're very smooth. I don't like D. I think space would be better, but
Space?
yeah.
I could change it real quick.
Okay.
Like WASD and space, so that you can like hit all of them at the same time.
I don't.
Oh, okay. Sorry. No.
Uh-uh.
Sorry. These are the different buttons, like of the controller. I should have brought my controller. But all you need to worry about is the D button. That's to shoot.
Okay. And then, are there arrow keys to move?
Yes,
or-
arrow keys is to move.
Okay. Does it matter which?
No, I don't- at
Or
this
can I only
point-
get one?
I think at this point we can only choose one.
Okay.
Then I
I don't know what
Oh,
I'm
that's the
doing.
oh, right. That's
Wait,
the
oh,
area
Was
bomb.
I? My bad. I didn't
That's alright.
know what I was doing.
So hold D to shoot.
Oh,
the
shit.
projectiles are kind of hard to see.
Oh.
What do you think?
Yeah, maybe.
I'm like, I'm gonna do it again. I don't care.
But I try to make them flash to see if we can make them better.
Yeah, it's just
but
like I feel like everything flashes though, you know.
that's true.
I think ours should try to stand out more, like be like blue or something. Because nothing in the game is blue, besides the projectiles maybe.
That could be something.
What's
What are we gonna like do to differentiate between like good and bad in terms of like color scheme?
We could work on that.
What's that bar on the bottom next to where it says 2?
That's your health. Like when you get hit, it goes
Oh,
all the way
okay.
down.
Hey, you know what?
Oh,
Fuck all
it
this
heals
noise.
if you dodge for a certain amount of time. You get the health back.
Really?
Yeah. That's interesting.
I was trying to shoot them. I'm doing it again. I don't
Okay.
care. I don't care. I will play a million
This
times.
goes all the way.
I feel like ours should be easier than this though. This is
Yeah.
kind of extreme.
Do we want it to be that?
Well,
I mean,
I think
if
we
we
can-
make the mechanics really easy or something, and then like maybe it's just to timing, like that would be the difficulty. I feel like that's a really. First of all,
Like the helicopter enemies are a lot, and also the tanks. Can you even shoot the tanks?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, but I feel like if you shoot them, then like, cause the screen moves forward, you're just gonna be like pushed into one, you know.
oh
Well,
God.
the interesting thing about SHMUPs is you have two options with them. You have dodge just dodge all bullets, or kill all enemies.
Well, here it's more like I think we could we have an upgrading system? Is that
We
possible?
can all. I'm sure you noticed that all SHMUPs tend to have an upgrade.
Because I think it makes it a lot like more dynamic to have an upgrade system because
Yeah.
don't you like gain money by killing the enemies?
Yeah, you do.
So you're thinking like, oh, I could kill this enemy, but that means there's a risk of me dying, but I get money for it,
Mhm.
which is better. So we should probably have something like that.
we could do that. We could do
You know what?
system to where you get
I
like I
was
don't know
doing
quarters.
so good at the
Quarters,
start.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Wait,
We could call it lunch money.
what's happening now?
Oh, it's just a story.
Oh.
yeah, whenever you go back into it, you have to choose the plane you want, and then. Oh, you keep your money. Oh, wait, second level? Oh, okay.
Wait, how did I?
I don't know.
Whoa.
Well, that
Second
doesn't matter
level's hard.
anymore.
Maybe you get to choose whatever level you start with. That's it.
I just like his mouth. Like, I just like picture in my head that he's gargling marbles.
What can we have for the our different planes though?
A different what?
Here there's different planes as the upgrade. You know, I assume you get like more health maybe for
Yeah.
the plane, but
Yeah.
for ours it's just like a paper plane. So
Oh, I'm already dead. Oh.
What she suggested was a possible crane, and so
Just like different origami folds and stuff
Mhm.
potentially, but like
Okay.
things that fly. So we could do like a butterfly, a dragonfly, something.
And they could all have their own thing. Maybe the dragonfly is like the smallest one. It goes really fast, but it's really fragile.
Or it could shoot fire.
It could shoot like a straight fire. Like instead of like a constant shooting, it could have like a
Jesus,
stream
alright.
thing where you have to get close. You're fast, you can dodge all the bullets pretty easily, but
oh, it's like in
Oh,
Cuphead.
Lord.
That's a thing.
Ooh, you doing well?
Oh, I like the enemy from here that like drops a bomb that just like lingers on the screen forever. Maybe we can have something like that.
Oh, it's a big one.
Oh, jeez.
Ooh. Still good? Do you want to play more, or are you good?
I still want to play more.
Okay, cool.
I'm trying to beat this shit. But
I think with your money, you can now get those power-ups to help you.
boo.
You're going wrong with this.
Yeah, I am going wrong. Oh shit! And this is why you don't go raw into. Oh god! Oh god!
Yeah, like that bomb. See, you kind of
What's
does
that?
it chase you?
No, that's a.
Oh, that's a power up. Oh, okay.
Oh!
Most shmups.
I always avoided that because I was scared that I was gonna die from it.
Yeah, how do we differentiate that to let the player know it's a power up? Do they just have to learn?
Oh.
We could. It could be like what they try to do with that is like slow moving to where it's not really and it's not going towards you like bullets do.
Okay.
But what we can also do is just use simple like plus, like.
Okay.
Everyone looks at plus and say, "Oh, that seems good."
I think it could be like since paper is usually repaired by tape, it could be like a tape dispenser or something.
Ah.
Oh my
Not a
God,
dispenser,
already.
but like just like a small piece of tape.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Christ. You know what? If this thing does not like chill out.
It's a shmup. I don't think anything feels out. Ooh.
Ooh, oh, they got me.
Oh, but you got 3 bullets instead.
Oh,
I noticed that you can.
I really just want to kill them. I'm emotionally invested in this now because the game beat me. I didn't beat it.
We kind of have a way to destroy bullets because like my idea for the ruler to be that you shoot it and it's when it gains less health it becomes a smaller projectile.
Kind of like a slime in Minecraft.
Yeah. You could just like. It could be this, and then as you destroy it.
Because like the idea is that it has numbers on the ruler that represent the health bar, so you know when it goes down, the numbers go down.
That could be something. So like make it to where once you destroy it, it's since it spins, it destroys the outer parts, so it becomes when it does launch towards you, it becomes less and less dangerous.
Oh god, I'm gonna die.
Now there's 2 of them.
Jesus, man.
I can tell. I was like, this is going really downhill really fast.
Have you noticed anything with like the controls or anything while you're playing, or notice anything different after
To me,
playing?
it just seems like pacing, and it's like one of those things where it's like you have to figure out just the patterns because it follows the same pattern every time. You just have to play according. But
I
Okay,
feel
so-
like in here you always kind of hit the enemy, but with ours, you're always like a little bit off. Is there a way to fix that? I guess
well-
maybe we could make the hitbox for our
Wait,
bullets.
what's
better?
happening now?
Oh, it's
What
just,
is this?
It took you back to the title screen.
Oh.
So you just press.
It said I was bad. Anyways, I guess I'm just gonna exile myself since the game already did it.
Hey, you got a lot farther than all of us. Alright, Isaiah, you want to give it a shot?
That flaming unicorn
I wonder what
is
the button is for the power-ups. Because you buy
where
it
does
now.
the unicorn even come into play in that game?
Oh, the
Just the title
sure.
screen? Like,
I'm sure that's their emblem. They're like their insignia. Yeah, see if you can buy a power up, and then ASDF is all the buttons. So when you get into it, you can
Maybe.
press one of those and
Yeah.
see if that launches like a bomb. Because I know
Can you change the buttons on the emulator?
you can.
Okay.
I know in most shmups there's like an AOE kind of bomb, where just you use it. Oh, D is to shoot.
No.
Oh. Ooh. Hey, Stephanie.
Hi.
Oh, are you some for?
yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Wait.
You guys know each other? Or
Yeah,
see
we
each
have
other?
been Yeah.
She's the connecting
Why
thread
can't
of all of us together.
I have to leave out like
Well, I now have a reason to talk to more people. I'm usually like that person that shows up, like does stuff on my reviews. I don't talk to people normally because I'm just like, I'm here to go to school and not make friends, but now I want to make friends.
And then going from one to another, it's just like, okay, now how do I do that?
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta try to use that? Oh, that seems like a bomb. We are now playing a shmup and trying to learn from it and list all the things that are in it so we can see what we can use for ours. Yeah, sure.
No.
I mean, how dare you? I am going to slam the computer
Don't
shut.
shoot me. Don't shoot me.
Are you going to pass this round?
Which button? Ah.
Have you tried using any of the cluster bomb? I don't know which bomb.
I'll
is sector
try.
item? I have no idea which bomb it is, so I.
This one?
None of it's working?
That one.
Oh,
Oh,
oh.
it's W. I mean
Oh.
A. It's A.
Okay, okay. So different kind of AoEs.
What if it was like if you got to the end of a stage,
Mhm.
there would be an enemy with a certain attack, and then once you beat them, you get that attack?
Huh. Maybe what we can do with
Like
that.
the ruler? Like you would get something similar to the ruler's attack?
What we can do with that is here you have a paper airplane, and then you get like the ruler spinning attack, and then to know you have that, you put it on the plane.
A sticker on it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
like a sticker or a drawing.
Is the sprite too small for that?
It depends how big we make it.
I think maybe we could have it in the UI somewhere, like at the very like top left corner, it shows like a little ruler to show that you
Of
beat
course.
them.
Just like any other UI thing, we could either have, just like on that, they have the health bar on there instead of the damage of the ship, or we could choose the UI information to be on the corners with the bars and whatnot, and that, or we could have the UI information on the actual things that's affecting itself. Whichever we choose. Okay. Of course, I'm gonna put down.
So in this game, do the enemies just have a chance of dropping the power up? Or is it like one specific enemy always does it?
That could be up to us, because I've seen both before, to where we could have like a specific enemy that blinks, that knows that it has a power up, so it draws you towards them. Or we can do it based upon the color differentiation. We have two types of enemies that appear at random, where one is just like, I don't know, a red type of enemy of the other one, and so you can tell, oh, that one has power. Or instead of random, we can make a plan, because when you design the layouts all out.
So, do you know what it says at the top right, like POW and dial?
Yeah, so it seems like every time he collects one of those power-up things, that goes up. Total, I don't know what that means yet. We could see. Ooh. Eating your record, sunflower. You already showed up.
So what did the helmet equals 2 mean?
What was that?
What the, like in the bottom left corner it says like a helmet and then equals 2?
Yeah, oh, that's how many lives you have left before
okay.
you get a game over, I assume. We don't have to have a life system.
Yeah, I don't think it really works nowadays. Like, this is a really old game.
It's definitely more arcadey style. What's that? The old Dog Kong Country?
I mean, I kind of like any of them. But
Oh, are you talking about the arcade Donkey Kong? Or
yeah, arcade
you just-
specifically.
Ooh, that one was hard though. Like the one where you're jumping over the barrels and you have to-
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was never good at it. I also was playing it when I was a little kid. So
Mhm.
that's probably like half the battle right there. Is just being a child.
Mhm.
I think there's a lot of stuff we could do for like power-ups. Like for, that's like not similar to this. Like what if there's one that's like you use like a glue stick to like just stop all the enemies from moving.
Okay, that could be something. Like, we could make it to where, just like on this, you can buy different power-ups, and you can make it so you can choose which power-up you want, like the glue stick, or the, maybe that could either stop them completely or slow them down. Yeah, Cindy, you want to go ahead and give it a shot before, since you gotta leave
Oh,
it?
thank you.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh, you gotta do that? Okay, no problem.
yeah,
Okay.
sorry, I'm really running on it. I need to manage my time better. So.
That's
I
alright.
don't manage my time at all.
Uh-huh.
I literally have like finished all of the assignments for that English class. I haven't turned them in. But the professor's just like, as long as you're actually doing it, I don't hate you. But I'm like, I need to do it though, because I have to pass.
I make a horrible habit of doing only homework before I start work. And then after work I make a pledge not to do homework. But
Because you're like, this is my me time.
yep. But then when homework starts piling up, the little voice in the back of
How
my
does
head.
it do the power up thing? Does it do it automatically?
No, I pressed A.
Yeah,
I felt really stupid right now. I didn't know how to do that. I
Oh.
just-
Oh.
That's why I went in wrong, because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing anyways.
Don't worry, I don't. It would have been easier if I had actually brought the controller.
I have an Xbox controller that is like my PC and stuff. I only use it for Sphinx and personally though.
I never heard of that game.
It was a PlayStation game, but they put it on Steam, so I got it.
Oh.
It's my shit. I've already beaten it, but like I haven't done the like full completionist stuff because there's a scarab bag that you have to get, and I couldn't figure out how to get it. But without that, then you can't afford to buy some of these really expensive monsters, and that's the only way to completely like 100% do the game because part of the things, Sphinx is a demigod or whatever, so he's like defeating the people. And it's all like ancient Egyptian lore, but like they kind of change things up to make it their own, make it fun. But part of it is finding ancient Egyptian monsters and stuff and putting them in a museum.
Ah, I didn't.
Seriously?
That
it's
was.
like it's kind of a side quest, so you don't have to finish it to like beat the game.
Mhm.
But I want to finish it.
Spencer, can you make it like a sort of like as a priority, can you make it sort of like a dev menu that gives you infinite health, so that like, or just like you
A
press
dev?
R
Oh
to
yeah,
start the
definitely.
game.
I can do that. I'll make sure to put it here when I take a picture of all this.
Oh yeah, also I have the background like 90% done and I have all the coloring and stuff done.
Okay.
I was gonna stay up later to finish it, but I was like, I need a shower, go to bed. I thought I was supposed to wake up at 8, so I was like, I'm already only gonna get like 6 hours of sleep, so I needed to just go to bed. And then I was like, oh, my little brother doesn't have class till 10, and that gives me about an hour longer than I thought.
Yay.
But so I just need to do like the detailing, but that's just line work on the wood and
No.
stuff.
Okay, no problem. We try, like I said, we try to make it to where we only work 3 hours a week. I understand you want to catch up, and that's completely fine. The only reason why I say that.
Better to do. Don't tell me not to do it.
I won't force anybody.
I'm an overachiever kind of person. But anyway, your reasoning behind why I
Oh.
can only do the allotted amount of work.
The reasoning I have this is because when you're in making any kind of game in the future, especially like I don't know, you're working on a game jam. It's like there's gonna be times to where people aren't gonna do as much work as everyone's not gonna do as much work as we thought we would. So, and we want to make sure to learn how to work within time constraints, to learn what's important to work on. Because if we had all the time in the world, then we might not actually get as much done as of the progress of the game itself as if we had a limited time. Because if you work on a game for 20 hours instead of 80, the 80 hours you might get a fully completed level, like half of a level or something. But with the prototype, you only have 20 hours. Like you might get done with a prototype and a level 1 because you compartmentalize all the stuff you worked on. That's just from my experience of working on games. But
That's philosophy.
yes, my philosophy. All right. So I think we did a good job. I think we got a good amount of information for that and added some. I'll go ahead and put that on the workshop channel for all of us to have a reference. So when we further make the game. Next, we are going to talk about, because I've talked briefly been mentioning it, on Friday the 13th, we have the event that is a collaboration event with the board game club and us, and don't want to have that. But of course, haven't had much detail. What is it? We can turn this off. We don't need it anymore. I was thinking that we collaborate. We make a quick board. Leave it up. We make a quick, small little board game or a card game.
I actually have a card game completely designed for this thing that I'm doing.
Oh, nice. So you have experience with that.
I mean, like, it's not like all out, but basically, like, I created all the rules and stuff with all the like ability cards and stuff.
Ooh.
But if you guys ever want to talk about that, I can bring my notes.
Yeah, go ahead. That would be fantastic. That'd be good to use. Does anybody have any preferences of making like a card game or a board game, or it doesn't matter which?
I think that either a remix of an already existing card game like Blackjack would be easy, or maybe something like Cards Against Humanity, where it's like less like a card game and more just like a social game.
I mean, we could. It wouldn't be that.
Those are my 2 ideas.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any preferences in there?
Social games are fun though.
Yeah, social games are really fun. Stephanie, do you have a preference if we want to make a board game or a card game for the event out there?
I'm fine with either.
I'm fine with either. And since you have good notes with the card game, I guess we.
I don't remember everything. Like, that's because it's all at home, but I can find the papers.
Mm-hmm.
bring them in. I don't know why I keep leaning back every time I stop. It's like-
That's fine, no worries. I do a pacing myself. We all have our own
When I'm on the phone, I pace, but
I've learned in my speech class that whenever I talk, my legs just like start like doing that. And it starts happening like, I start thinking, oh, there was that song, it was like from your knees to your butt. It's like it fills up. But, alright, so we go with the card game. And you said, because social games are pretty easy to make. They're just, we can make it a remix, because I even played a Cards Against Humanity style game, but with text messages instead, to where you have to reply.
Oh, I think I've seen that. I think where-
It's called a New Phone Who Dis.
Yes, yeah, I played that.
And it's basically, you have the blurb right here, and then you have whatever response you want to make for the funniest blurb. I mean, that's pretty easy. It's just coming up with a bunch of like you wouldn't even have to test it that much. So we can do that, but we can also think about different kinds of social games besides that, because I remember I played this game called Neanderthal Poetry for Neanderthals, and it's a game to where you have two teams, and one team has like this word, and they have to try to express what that is without saying the word, and only one syllable at a time. You can't say anything more than two syllables. So you have to be like, 8 arm live in big pond, and the other person's sitting there on the other team with like a stick. If they break any of the rules on there, they whack them with it, and they lose all the points. So what we can do is, if we don't want to do that, there's also like because like we want to try to also incorporate all the aspects of making a game into this. Of course, we can't do programming, because trying to program something in 2 hours would just be impossible. But we want to try to incorporate a little more art into this as well. So if we do decide it, there's also the like little games such as like those card games such as like Magic and whatnot, to where that is usually split up into like 3 categories of different kinds of cards. You have like the cards that do stuff, the cards that are like monsters and whatnot, and then the cards that are resources. And that has the most art potential we can use it from. And we can obviously drag, make it a carbon copy of like Magic, where it's just like you have different different health for each person, and then we can just come up with like what each of these things do and whatnot, and we could have fun just like coming up with different fun little characters to draw as well. So that means we got social, we got we're just gonna monster. Since I am not 100% of a card game person, does anybody have any other kinds of ideas of what we could do for a card game specific game? It's like, I don't know 100% on the different kinds of styles of card games.
I mean, like, I'll just use the one that I'm making for example. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of like inspired, like, by Exploding Kittens and how that kind of functions, where they have all the different action cards and stuff, and then, so like, my game has different action cards and they all do different things, and then there's also some passive cards that you can just discard on your own, because the goal is to discard your hand so you have nothing, but some of the action cards screw your team. Well, they're not your teammates; they're all your opponents over. So it gets complicated from there. But
So it's a more dynamic Uno, to where you're trying to get rid of all your cards. That's the goal.
yeah.
And then, but you just have way more things to do.
Yeah. So it's
Okay.
Like, like, you don't have, like, Uno reverse and stuff like that, or
Mhm.
whatever. But, like, I'll just, like, give an example. So there's, like, a cat card, and the cat card is, like, cats are assholes, but they're also
Mhm.
sweet sometimes. So this cat card is very sweet to you, and it's an asshole to everybody else, and it makes everybody else have to pick up 5 cards.
Mhm.
And you're the only one that doesn't have to. And that can be really great for you, unless if somebody decides to also discard a cat card on their next turn to get back at you.
I can
And
see how.
then from there, anybody who also has cat cards.
Mhm.
But there's also like, there's like a nanny card, cause like the theme generally is around like horses and horse
Mhm.
stuff. So like, I kind of take into consideration certain things like that. So like, there's nanny horses in nature. And so in this one, it's like if you discard your nanny horse, you also get to discard any foals that you
Mhm.
have.
Alright.
But if you don't have a nanny horse, then you have to discard the foals like individually.
Mhm.
So then that basically makes them into passive cards, and they only get value if you have that other card with you.
Okay.
There's like champions versus challengers. Champions are like the protectors of the herd.
Mhm.
If a challenger wants to come and like steal horses from a herd,
Mhm.
they would have to fight the champion. If you have a champion, then somebody challenging your herd or whatever to steal cards from you, because they can pick any card that they want. Like, you would have to show them your hand, and then they can pick whichever one benefits them the most or would
Mhm.
hurt you the most to not have, depending on
Okay.
like, you know, how useful your cards are to them. But if you have a champion, then they basically have to discard their card, and they don't get any use out of it, but then you would also have to discard your champion.
Okay.
That could potentially leave you vulnerable. There's a lot more. I'm forgetting some of them though, but
That's alright.
I'm
that's
just like
alright.
using examples of like ability cards and whatnot, cause
Mhm.
I feel like there's like similar things, and that was kind of my idea, was like making sure that there's some similar functions to other cards from other card games.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, because we can
Yeah.
break it down, because like there's usually like this is like usually the goals of many of the card games, such as get rid of all the cards to win, or get more of a specific card to win, or like if we're working for the monster based one, it's just like a drain life to 0. But we can also break down to like in the monster style, to where what usually most of like the ability cards do is just like take away cards, and from that we can like block and like just block the ability of doing that, or we can just count that as a so on and so on. We can go forever with that. But I think that's really good though. I do like the amount of complexity that adds to it. But what we can try to focus on before Friday comes up is come up with what exactly we want to make. So I think for the sake of we'll wait until I say. No, we'll go ahead. Start. So, since you're here, Stephanie, I know you got to leave in like a little bit. What style game what's your vote on the style game a card game on, like a social kind of game, or like Cards Against Humanity, such as that, or a monster style game, which is like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, and whatnot?
I feel like a social style game, at least in my experience with my relatives.
Okay.
Like, we can play it for a while, but then after like a while, people are like, I don't really want to play it. Monster games, I feel like there's more interest long term.
Mm-hmm.
But is this for Friday the 13th?
Oh yeah, Friday the 13th. We're just
Oh.
making something. Does anybody have any objections to just immediately picking the theme horror? So we can keep it that way?
Is a horror card game a thing?
Yeah, we can make it a thing. Like, that's no problem. Okay, but
Horror is great.
yeah, horror is fun.
That means I get to draw spooky, scary stuff for it.
Yeah. Like, we could still, even if we're not going with the monster stuff, we can still incorporate art into it as much as we can. Okay, so we're sticking with voting of which style of card game we want to make. So we got the social, the Cards Against Humanity style games, or the monster, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, and whatnot. Do you have a preference of which one you think we should stick with?
I wanna talk about this one card game. It's really funny. You know about the Muffin Time card game?
The what?
Muffin Time.
Muffin Time? No, I do not.
It has really dumb cards. Like, if another player leaves the room, steals 5 of their cards.
So it's a very incredibly social Muffin Time card
You can
game.
look at the cards. They're crazy.
But then what happens, so if one person leaves the room, if everybody steals 5 of their cards each,
No, only one person
Only
is allowed
one.
to do it.
Oh.
If you have the card, if you have
Oh.
steal another player's cards.
Steal one card, all players, including you, touch this card, and last player to do the same, discard. All place trap cards are discarded. And don't think about if another player mentions a cat, they discard 3 cards. If another player adds the time, steal 4 of their cards. Another player farts, burps, coughs, sneezes, steal 3 of their cards. Wow. So this is incredibly social of just anybody doing anything, you just add anything. Alright. I'll put
I don't like the don't think about cats card. I have 2 cats, how would I not?
I have 1 cat and 1 dog myself. Alright. Ben? Do you have a preference which one?
Which one, like either social or horror?
Yeah. Oh, social or like monsters such as Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic.
I think social would be easier because then we have to make a bunch of like monster ones. And that could be really.
Okay. Like none of this has to be. I hope everyone knows that none of this we're making it barely even needs to get out of prototype phase. Like we don't have. It could just be like monster. There we go. We got 1 monster. His name is 5 Arms. It's like that. It doesn't need to be anything too extravagant, but we're just trying to construct like a very basic, and then have them test it for us to get an idea of how a game is,
Mm-hmm.
how the phase of a beginning game can go about.
We can also always just use like creepypasta monsters that are like pretty popular.
Yeah.
Because then
Or just go on
it
SCPs.
wastes less time, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It would just like give us more time to focus on like drawing it rather than like coming up with all the.
That could be something.
Oh, what about if every monster is just like a crappy knockoff of an original like idea? Like instead of Jeff the Killer, it's Jeffy the Killer.
Okay. Yeah. We could have that. That would streamline the process of making it. Like we would.
Then we have to make them look stupid.
It's just like it could be a child's imagination of what they look like instead. Where they're just like really like basic, or a child's drawing of what they think it looks like.
Could we have ghost face but make it ghost ass and they just have an ass for
I mean, with how we're seeing these cards go, I'm sure we can.
I'm starting to like the monster idea more than the social idea.
Okay. So we got
I can already think of one for ghost ass.
So which one would you like?
I want the monster one now.
Okay, so now we got a tie. I don't want to break the tie.
Well, there's 5 of us, so.
That's what I mean. That's me. So I'm going to leave it up to a flip. So if it
I think I would want to do a monster.
Ooh.
Because-
All right.
It's official.
Yeah.
It's official. We're going with the monster one.
I wish I had a pencil and paper so
Yay,
I could start drawing
confetti.
houses. I'm really excited about that in particular.
All right, cool. Go with the monster one. Stephanie, you're not gonna. What time did you say you had to leave?
Oh, I like 11
11.
times.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure.
Not 11:11. I wanna draw.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I didn't.
All right. So now that we got that situated, we want to make sure that we have a goal in mind, because even though most monster games do have like a life system and whatnot, we don't technically need to do that, because some of those games have a lose situation of you don't have any cards in your hand. Oh no, I'm sorry, there's no monsters on the field. We could have it a goal where there's no cards in hand, so that could change up what we want. So we want okay. So no on field. Okay, so these are usually two or both goals of most monster games. Is everyone needs to have at least one monster on the field to defend you, or that you have your life is less than or equal to 0 to beat the other opponent, or both. It depends which one. Does anybody want to go outside of the box a bit and possibly have different ones, add different ones? Or we can stick with these for now and then maybe add some later if we come up with something?
I think those make the most sense.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind. Right, we can go with, oh, I forgot to take a picture of that. Oh, well, we have it recorded. I'll make sure to get that situated. How much time we got left on this thing? 21 minutes. We'll still keep going if the battery dies. We just won't have it recorded. But luckily everyone's here. So I'd like to have an archive.
No, Giovanni isn't here.
Oh, right, Giovanni. I don't know if, to be honest, I don't know how much of, yeah. Anyways, okay. So, we'll stick with these goals for now.
Done.
You got a little monster? What do we got?
I told you I wanted to make this.
Ghost ass.
Ghost ass.
Doesn't mean
I keep
you-
saying ass face on accident.
Oh, okay, that's fine, okay. That's, I
thought it was
see.
a fly.
And then on his ass, he has the face.
He's got 2 cheeks.
Almost.
And
I forgot what he looks like. There we
Speaking
go.
of cheeks,
He's and then he says,
Ugh.
"What's up?"
We could also always do ghost ass could be just like a killer that wears a cloak but then has a ghost that haunts his ass. But then we could change this to his face.
We could have fun with the you know, on most cards, they have
They
the
could just be
writing
like twin
blurb.
brothers or something.
Yeah, you can make up little stories for them and have like a little writing blurb at the bottom.
I want an emotional story about brotherhood.
Okay.
And fighting themselves no
We could
matter-
do that,
no
someone.
matter the odds.
We could definitely do that. All right, we got a goal. I don't know if you agree. You were drawing, so I want to make sure you agree with it. All right, usually most of the goal of most of those card games is drain their life to 0, or make sure they have no monsters on the field, or both as a win condition. We can either just stick with that, or expand on it, or like expand on it later if we come up with any ideas.
I think draining life would be a good one personally, but
Okay.
Yeah, I like Drain Life. I think that's how Pokemon is.
That's how Pokemon. Pokemon no. Pokemon does prize cards. You kill every time you defeat an opponent, you get a prize card, and if you defeat 6 of their Pokemon.
That's how it works?
That's how it works. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, Magic Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh does have a
Bang
life system.
works in a way of like draining life, except for you have like bullets of life.
Mmm.
So, have you ever played Bang? It's really fun.
Bang. Yep, I remember Bang.
Bang is lit.
Bang is fun. All right. So let me make sure I'm keeping track of the batteries. Okay. So now we got that situated. We got the card types.
Oh, it's time for me to get going.
All right. Well, thank you for coming. I'm glad you were able to stay here.
See you on Wednesday.
Yeah, see you on Wednesday.
I'll post on what we come up with at the end for Friday.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
Bye, boy.
Bye bye. Okay. Ability, and then we got So most of the time, this is what you got for a monster card game. You got the monsters. They do stuff. They attack your life points, or your life. We got the ability cards, which is like Magic. On Yu-Gi-Oh, you got Magic and track cards, and on Magic the Gathering, you got the instants and whatnots, and the land card, not land cards, arena cards and whatnot. Resources, like on Pokemon, you got the different energy types, and on Magic, you got the different lands. So not all of them has to have all of these. Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't have resources, which does a lot for it, as in a bad. They try to counter it with like the stars. You have to have a certain amount of stars. They use monsters as resources to make it so you can summon the different monsters. But they tried. It's still popular, so it works somehow. So do we want these as a typical thing to have? We can strike one down and try to make it work. Of course, I think we need to have monsters, so that's something that's pretty hard to take down unless you really want to try. But do we?
It'd be funny if we put like some useless monsters in there that can only be good if you give them like ability and resource cards.
That
Like
could be.
if it's like, let's say something that's like blind and deaf and like.
Oh, so they
and
have
so
like
they have to
debilitations.
like have different things, or like a monster that doesn't have any limbs, so you have to give it the ability of telekinesis, and then you have to give it a resource of like a knife or something.
Or like you can treat Frankenstein as like Exodia, where you give it the different pieces of its arms and legs, and then you instantly win or some crap like that. Okay, like all right,
Like
so.
I'm making it complicated, but just because I think it's funny.
No, it's cool. That's cool. Definitely keep that in the back of your mind for when we actually start working on it on Friday. We'll most likely give each other just like quick.
Did I take a picture of my?
Yes, you have to take a picture of that.
Oh, I did take a picture. Okay.
You should post it on the memes channel. Alright, definitely want to keep monsters. Keep abilities. Does anybody want to have a resource or not? As in, like, you need these to bring these on the field, or you need these to, in order to even attack at all? It's like,
I don't know. I think that kind of bogs it down.
okay. Most do warn you, most games do have card games with monsters do have a resource to them, but if we don't, that's completely fine. That means you'll be able to just put any monster you have out on there. They'll be able to use any attack that's on there.
Yeah,
So
isn't that how Pokemon works?
no. They have a resource as energy. So you see on, I'll show. I used to think that's how it works until I played it. So we're gonna look at a picture right here. So you see, oh dang, that's a crappy picture. Okay, we'll go with that. So as you can see, they have the different colors, different types. That's how many energy you need. So in order to use this attack, you need 2 fire and any amount of energy. So you need 3 energy in all. That one you need 1 steel, 1 any energy. Then you need 2 steel and any energy to use that. So that's how they differentiate which attack you can use. So maybe instead, what we can do with these is like, you don't have a universal resource. You have like a multilateral resource, to where like she was suggesting, to where what if you have like a useless monster, but if we had your resources are like powers, or just like this one needs telekinesis in order to do something.
I mean, we could also do like weapons too, because some
Yeah.
monsters like might have claws built in, whereas others
Oh, so they
use
can
natural,
immediately
like
attack.
if they were like a human that got transformed into a monster, they might not necessarily have the weapons there. I'm imagining like the Wraith or Blight from like Dead by Daylight and stuff.
Like maybe do a thing to where they can flip each turn. You gotta flip it, and then it has like one has like no weapons, one has built-in weapons.
Mhm.
You think like that? Okay. So anybody think this is a good idea? Like instead of one universal resource, you have separate resources that only specific cards can use each one of these. Like for instance, she came up with the idea of weapons to where you can put it on anybody and they can use that weapon. But, in order to use some of the attacks, they need some of these. Like, but not everyone can use all of these, but all of these are resources. Okay, cool. Do you think that's a decent
I
idea?
don't know. I don't really play a lot of card games, so I'm not sure how
Oh.
it works, but I'll go with okay.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Do you think with that we should include some monsters who maybe don't need a resource card, like they're rare and they're like more useful because of that, but
Yeah.
you could just like get them and then like just start going.
Mm-hmm. We could try to balance them out to make it so that there's a cost. Like maybe it's that once they get destroyed, they punish the one that uses it. Like maybe they lose like a certain amount of health. So it's like it's risky to use it, but it's really powerful.
Maybe
Something like that.
If you use a really strong one, you have to wait a certain amount of turns.
Ooh, that could be something. Whereas like it slowly gets up or something like that.
Oh, what about there's one attack from one specific monster that you need every single type of resource card for.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that'd be something. Where or it could be you need every one of them. It's kind of like the Exodia thing, where you get all the pieces in order for it to be the most powerful. Or it could be like it's really wimpy at first. Give it one. It's less wimpy, less wimpy, less wimpy, less wimpy.
We could also do for resource cards. I'm thinking like we could like do layers and stuff, and like say like if you have the layer of your monster, then their attacks are going to be however
Oh,
many
the layer.
percentage more powerful.
Okay. So that could be like in Pokemon they have arenas to
Mhm.
where we could call arena to where when you have the arena down, then certain monsters get certain abilities that gets activated.
What if we also did like the things that are like related to the elements, like you know how like for lots of like monsters and stuff, having like fog and stuff ends up making things more spooky and kind of helps them to be more hidden.
Okay,
Or
so some
something,
monsters.
like maybe it could be like some kind of like ability thing, perhaps. Like you could have like fogs or like foggy stuff, like a mist rolls in. Or,
Okay. Oh, they some monsters can create the mist that
Yeah.
you can get a card for to make
yeah.
happen.
And you could also do like a twig snapping in various locations. Like they're able to make that happen, like different things like that that are like spooky and scary.
Okay.
And then you could like, I don't know, show how they benefit them.
Okay, just on the card itself. All right, 1 sec. At the end the recording here, so